Today I'm going to give you 5 tips for exam day when you're taking your CPA exam. This comes from a comment we got earlier last month from Pfeiffer Videos. He asked for exam day tips, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. So let's dive right in. Tip number 1, take it easy the day before your exam. You don't want to be doing a lot of strenuous work. If you're able, you don't want to do a ton of heavy studying, and I mean that. Do not study the day before your exam. And this might freak a lot of people out or scare you, but I firmly believe it, and this is what I did when I took my exams. If you spent the last 2, 3, or 4 months preparing for this exam, your brain is probably so bogged down. You've been looking at this stuff every single day, maybe taking some breaks here and there. But one day off will let everything sink in. It'll let you decompress, and it will just give you some peace of mind and some clear headspace when you go into that exam the next day. If you feel like you have to study or you'll have a panic attack or an anxiety attack, just do some light review. Don't go through and crank out a bunch of questions. Just look at some notes, some flashcards, just something quick and light that won't tire you out and stress you out for the next day. So when you're taking it easy, relax. If you have to work, maybe in the evening, unwind a little bit, have some coffee, kick your feet up. If you don't have to work, just relax and unwind. Maybe play with your dog. I know you've probably been neglecting your dog or even your family while you've been studying for these exams because it takes so much time. Also, find out directions for the exam center for the next morning. Don't wake up that morning and figure out how long it takes to get there or find out there's a delay because of construction or heavy traffic. Find that out the day before, pick the route you're going to go, leaving plenty of time. Also, stay off of Reddit. Do not get on the CPA exam subreddit and read all these horror stories about how people failed or FAR was so hard. Please, there's so much negativity there. Stay off the subreddit for one day. Trust your studying. Trust all the work that you put in, and go pass that test. Also, get a really good night's sleep the night before the test. Try your best again to unwind and get a really good amount of sleep, so that you have energy, you feel refreshed, and you can crank through those questions. Tip number 2, you need to print 5 copies of your NTS. Yes, you still only need 1, but if you print 5 copies, I promise you will at least end up with 1 at the exam center. So with your first copy, you're going to put this in the glove box of your car. That way, if you forget the other copies in your home, you'll have one as you're driving to the exam center. The second copy you're going to lay on your kitchen table. This is the copy of the NTS that you actually want to bring to the exam center. You're going to put a third copy in the front door. You're going to fold it up and shove it in between the door jamb and the front door, kind of like where you'd put letters for Santa, or at least that's what we did. And then you'll see it on the way out if you forget the others. With a fourth copy of your NTS, you're going to fold it up, put it in your pant or coat's pocket of the outfit you are going to wear to the exam. And the final copy, you're going to duct tape this copy to your forehead the night before the exam, and that way when you wake up, it's the first thing that you see. Now, this is a little bit silly, but please, don't forget your NTS for the day of the exam. Tip 2A, also with the NTS, bring your ID as well. You need this to get into the exam. You can't make copies of this, but find a way to not forget it. Tip number 3, be aware of your time during the exam. Now, pacing is a really big issue. I work with a lot of candidates that end up running out of time on the exam, or they struggle to keep on pace or spend too much time on problems. I really don't suggest timing each question and making sure that each question you're spending 2 minutes per multiple choice or so many minutes. That can get a little worrisome and just cause some anxiety focusing on the clock so much. But I will say, be aware. If you realize that you're starting to spend 4 or 5 minutes on a multiple choice question and you still aren't making progress, skip it for now or put your best guess and then move on. And then if you have extra time at the end of that testlet, you can come back and you maybe look at it in a different way or find something that you were missing before. But just try to be aware of that time in the back of your head and kind of have this little alarm go off when you start spinning your wheels or spending too much time on one single question. Also, something that will save you a lot of time, and this is something I die for. This is my best tip, this is the thing I preach the most with people I tutor with. If you've heard this, if you watched other videos, you heard me say this. Please read the question first. And what this means is, even if it's multiple choice or a sim, go to the bottom of the paragraph or the bottom of the sentences, the question, and find the question mark. Find exactly what this question wants you to solve. A lot of times these multiple choice and sims have so much extra information that you don't really need. And you can waste a lot of time trying to sift through that. But if you find the question first, it gives you a frame of reference for what you actually need, for what information is important and what information you can discard. So once you read that question and know what to look for, you can read through and decide, oh, this number doesn't matter. This number is important to my calculation, or this fact is important, or I can disregard this set of information. It will help you speed up answering questions. Tip number 4, take your 15-minute break. I believe after the first testlet of Sims, you get a 15-minute break where your timer, your 4-hour timer, pauses. And this is huge. It might be tempting to just want to get the exam over with or crank through it, but please go take that break. It's free. Your timer doesn't keep running. Go sit on a bench. Get outside of the exam center if you can. I would go outside and just take a deep breath of fresh air. Use the restroom. Get a drink if you have to. If you can, even go for a short stroll. Just get some fresh air in, and again, let your mind decompress a little bit. Try not to stress too much or think about the past testlets or the past questions that you've been answering. Just really try to take some big deep breaths, relax, and prepare yourself to go back in there and finish out the exam strong. Tip number 5, go get some ice cream afterwards. These exams are really hard and they're super straining. After I took mine, I'd go out to my favorite restaurant in town and order these loaded fries with barbecue and ranch and mac and cheese. Anyway, it's crazy. But go get some ice cream, go get yourself some food, treat yourself, because whether or not you passed, you want to pass that test, but getting in there and putting yourself out there and taking that exam in itself is a really big deal. Getting through that 4-hour exam is a lot. So go treat yourself. Pick yourself back up, whether you think you walked out of the exam center and failed or if you felt really confident in your test. Go give yourself some reward for what you did and what you are accomplishing. Also, please try not to stress too much about your exam. In 2025, we have continuous testing back with tons of release windows, so you don't have to wait a super long time, 4, 5, or 6 weeks at most. So you'll get that score back quick, but do your best. Try not to stress while you're waiting for that score. Don't check the subreddit too much because it's really negative. And again, just hope for the best and keep studying. Start looking forward to your next exam if you can. Good luck on your exams. I hope these tips helped. If you want to see other videos, please leave a comment below. I read them. I look forward to making more videos on what you want to see about the CPA exam.